Alright, what's up everybody, it's Kami. Welcome back to another weekly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Vento Aureo Anime episode review. Today we have episode 4, which I was waiting for, and honestly I thought a couple more things were going to happen in this episode, but it turns out those are going to happen in episode 5. And real quick before we start, for I guess the new guy that left a comment on last week's episode review saying recap and not review, I want to let you know, dude, I recap what goes on in the episode because I'm talking about the episode as a whole. I'm going over what goes on and what I liked about the episode that happened. So of course I'm gonna recap that shit, and if you have a problem with that, go watch somebody else, or I don't know, go fuck yourself. I really don't care. So anyways, our episode starts with a brief recap of the ending of last episode with the old man getting pierced by Black Sabbath and Giorno being pissed about it, and it actually transitions into today's episode with some new footage, and we can see Black Sabbath dragging Giorno's soul out of his shadow. And then Fighting Gold plays, and I want to say, I know it's been like 4 weeks now, it's been a whole month of Vento Aureo episodes essentially. It's been 4 full weeks, that's crazy. I'm still in awe at how good Fighting Gold is every single time I hear it. Honestly, Chief, this is it. Like, this opening is so damn good, and I really don't think that they could ever top this, and then they probably will top Fighting Gold for the second half of Vento Aureo when we get a new opening and a new ending. But honestly, this ending and opening is just great. The ending too, we gotta give credit to the ending too. You know, it's like you see the old man die in episode 3, and then you hear people being horny. It's great. So Giorno's being attacked by Black Sabbath. The arrow is piercing his hand over and over, and he's getting stabbed and shit, and Giorno's trying to make sure that it doesn't like stab him in the head or anything, so that, you know, he doesn't get killed. And Giorno starts to actually fight back against Black Sabbath. And Black Sabbath backs off momentarily before attacking Giorno again from his shadow, but that's when Giorno realizes that it can only move within shadows and attack him from there. And this is an issue for him right now, since the sun is actually setting and it'll be nighttime soon, and once that happens, he's kind of screwed. And Black Sabbath is incredibly powerful within the shadows, and it moves really fast between shadow to shadow, so this is like really serious. And Koichi shows up, and man, can we get a F in the chat for Koichi not actually being in part 5 and only being in the beginning? I'm 100% fine with Koichi not being here. I've talked about this before in other videos regarding Vento Aureo and Koichi himself. But it is cool to see Koichi again, but I do appreciate the fact that he's not here because of how dangerous everything is in Vento Aureo and the fact that everything is a fight to the death. I'm happy with Koichi not being involved anymore in the story after this point. So Koichi shows up, he starts haggling Giorno, thinking that he killed the old man and shit because he'd been watching from the window, and it turns out that Koichi gets attacked by Black Sabbath, but Giorno sees this as a perfect opportunity to strike back, so he ends up changing the guardrail next to where Koichi was standing and to some vines to eliminate the shadows that were there, because Black Sabbath was in the shadow of the guardrail. And then this ends up making Black Sabbath take a ton of damage, and it starts to pretty much essentially fry up. Pretty much essentially is also going to be my new thing to describe things, because I think that that's a good thing to describe a thing, you know? Yeah. But Black Sabbath ends up retreating into another shadow, and while this happens, Koichi starts rambling about the stand arrow that he saw from Black Sabbath as he was being attacked. Koichi tells Giorno that the stand arrow is in fact an arrow that can awaken stands when piercing the opponent, and that Koichi ended up getting stabbed by the stand arrow 2 years ago when he initially received his own ability of echoes. And Giorno rants about how he feels guilty for the old man dying because of him, and because Polpo is a fat idiot that just decides that he's gonna do stuff and kill people, and yeah. Also, shout out to the fat Polpo meme that kind of became a thing over the last couple days. Fat Kaiji in the comments. So after just a little bit of dialogue between the best character in the entire series and some dude with gold hair, the two decide that they're going to attack Black Sabbath in a different spot where they can drag out his shadow manually and then kill him there. But while on the way there, Black Sabbath actually ends up jumping out of a shadow, and he grabs Giorno's leg. Well, Giorno's kind of being pinned down here by his foot, and that's when Koichi uses Act 3 Freeze to hold Black Sabbath down and Giorno's leg. This is one of those highlight moments for Giorno for me, and it's so early. And it's one of the reasons why I think the Black Sabbath fight is really cool. You get to see him use gold experience in really creative ways. What he ends up doing is, because he's being held down to the ground essentially with Black Sabbath, and you know, the floor is crushed and shit, there's a tree nearby So Giorno uses gold experience to attack the root of the tree from the hole that's next to his foot, since it's within his range. And what he ends up doing from attacking the root is he causes the tree to age ridiculously fast, and it ends up withering away, which eliminates all the shadows that were right there for Black Sabbath to hide in. And we get this really badass moment of Giorno just standing there in front of Black Sabbath talking about, well, you said there were 2 paths for me and you only have one, and he beats the fuck out of Black Sabbath. Stuff like this is just really great, man. I love seeing how charismatic Giorno can be in situations like this, and just how awesome he is as a character. Like, the shit really is cool as fuck. If people didn't somehow like Giorno by this point, which I think by the anime standards, you should already like him by the time he's in episode 1 and he's doing literally anything ever. And I don't make the rules, but that's just how it is. But if you didn't like him already, there's definitely no way you shouldn't like him now after that cool shit. Giorno and Koichi talk for a little bit, and then we go back to Giorno going into the jail to hand Polpo back the lighter, saying that, you know, he passed the test and stuff. We got Fat Kaiji eating pizza. Let's go. And Polpo rants about something about disgracing someone's trust and how he thinks that fighting is stupid and shit, but if somebody disrespects you, then you have every right to kill them, and murder should be forgiven by God, which this entire, like, little section here, Polpo just ranting about stuff is, like, really fucking, it's weird, dude. It's good insight, I guess, on how, damaged Polpo is as a person and how fucked up he is. So after all that hard work, Giorno actually ends up joining Passione because he passes the test, and he's given a badge to prove that he passed the test so that he can bring that to Bruno the next time he sees him. And while Giorno is taking the badge, he's pissed as fuck that the old man died because of Polpo, so what he ends up doing is he changes Polpo's gun with a banana. Shout out to Gold Experience for being able to do stuff like this, because yeah. Giorno leaves jail, Koichi's talking to Jotaro, and this is when we get the infamous "he has the blood of a Joestar flowing through him" moment from the manga, and that panel looked really damn good. And seeing it animated where you get to see Josuke, Jotaro, and Joseph behind Giorno as he's just standing there and seeing their faces with this line is really damn dope. I like how it looks in the anime. And it's just a really good moment in the manga too. It's like, Giorno's not a terrible guy. He actually is indeed a Joestar, and that's where you get that association from. Makes all that build up in the fight and everything else that went on in the episode 100% worth it. And seeing just how pissed Giorno is that the old man died is just great, dude. He's legitimately furious, and he was 100% gonna make Polpo pay for it, since in Polpo's own words, it's just to attack and kill people that disrespect you. There's nothing wrong with it. So we cut to the next day. Polpo's sitting down eating a banana. He peels it, and as he goes to bite it, boom, it ends up being his gun because Giorno transformed his banana into his gun. Not even transformed, to switch them. I don't understand how the fuck that shit. It just works. It does. It's a banana gun. The gun was changed to look like the banana because Gold Experience, and then Polpo shoots himself in the head and dies. And press F down below in the comments to pay respects for Fat Kaiji. It was good while it lasted, bud. And our episode ends with Bruno telling Giorno that they're going to meet the rest of the crew, and that's it. And we get to see a sneak little preview of Abacchio, Mr. Fugo, and Narancia sitting down at the base. And I wasn't wrong last week when I said we were going to meet the gang in this episode, or at least see them, because we did see them at the very end, but I was expecting the pacing to be a little quicker, and I did think that we were going to get all of the gang introduction shenanigans this episode, but that just means that next week's episode is going to be great. We're going to have all those shenanigans in it and shit, and then I'm going to remake a shit post, because it's the perfect chance to. The Giorno Sippin' Tea anime edition is going to come out next week, probably like a couple hours after the review for episode 5 does. Let me know what you guys thought about today's episode. I thought today's episode was really damn good. I actually ended up oversleeping and watching it a bit late, which is why this video is going up a little later than usual. Normally would have been up by now, but again, I overslept. What else can I do about it? But the episode was great. It's a nice conclusion to Polpo. I really like how the anime handled Polpo's character. I feel like it made him feel much more grand than the manga does, just because you have, you know, voice acting and all the little tidbits of his close-ups on his face and stuff when he's just saying like really weird stuff, and like you can really get a good sense of how creepy and terrifying Polpo is supposed to be, because of the advantages of having it be animated and having background music and voice acting and stuff like that. So I thought that this arc with Black Sabbath was really good. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at FreyKugel. Links are in the description down below. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/SuperKamiGaming. The link for that is also down below in the description. And you can also join my Discord where we just talk about random shit and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.